All right, Saturday morning, got up around 4. Um, just couldn't sleep. That's always fun. Uh, which means, of course, I came out and worked on the truck. Uh, just want to let you know what I did before. I just kind of milled around, got really prepped for the day. So gonna have a cup of coffee and uh, yeah. So yeah. So moving right along. Let me flip this around. So I started to last night. I set this up. Let me back this out again. Uh, Laid this all out so I could play with it today. So we have a plan. This is going to be the main focus. The big problem right now, and I know side of the problem, but the ECU's laying in front of the motor, and because the motor is going to be open, I don't really want that cable laying there. So consequently, I'm going to have to break open this harness, pull all the wires out, and then reverse it so the harness is sitting on the other side. And then since the engine is exposed, I've got to replace all of the loom and take that off. And I got some other stuff coming. It should look a lot like this stuff. And then, it's good to do all this dry run to see how far we're going to go. This throttle body has an adapter harness that is supposed to come with, and it didn't. So, waiting on that, but basically it's this plug and a harness that goes to both sides. This plug will no longer be used. So again, all these guys too that are extra, we'll have to take care of those so they don't show. So this is going to be a good 3, 4, 5 hours that needs to get done, and then I want to get the alternator hung, make sure that's all straight and parallel. But yeah, this needs to happen, and the chassis is not here, so let's take advantage of the day. It's pretty nice out. May go for a bike ride later, but yeah. Yep. And then this guy needs to go away. So there's a bunch of cables here. There's a knock sensors. Those will go back. Those need to come off. I think these got to come off as well. I gotta look. Anyway, and the whole deal here is, so this is as everybody knows, 5.2, and it's a flat plane. So firing orders are reversed, or not reversed, but different. The main difference here, and we'll get with it as I open the harness up, is that the 4 middle cylinders, they kind of do this. It's like a dance. I got to start at number 2 and then go all the way around. The nice thing about this situation is that I have the factory harness, which means that that wiring is already swapped around. So when I thought I was going to have to do a rewire, all I really need to do is go into the Gen 2 Coyote ECU with HP and change the firing order there so that it knows when to fire. And there's 2 places you need to do that, one for fuel and one for spark. Talked to Wayne, Very Cool Parts, House of Power, and we got that all figured out. We've also got an illuminator tune that he did for the F9, and then he's tracking me down a tune for, not so much for this, because this is just a change in the liters of air that, you have to do a calculation between the old manifold over there, how many liters of air that will hold versus this. So that's the calculation goes in HP, but mainly for the fly-by-wire. So there's a whole strategy that goes with these. Every time you change, you can't just drop these in like a regular old cable drive and say, okay, look, it's done. That actually needs a tune to tell the computer how, where the throttle blade is, and how much air is going through the twin butterflies, opposed to the single. So between all of that, you've got to have a tune. So fortunately, I've got HP tuners. I've got access to Wayne, and Wayne has access to pretty much everything. So, trickle down technology, we'll get it figured out. The big thing right now for me is getting this plug over to here, and then over to that piece. So hopefully that shows up. I think I found somebody. If Factory 5 can't find the one that came with this one, I think I found out where you can get them from. So I think it's Lethal Performance, but no big deal. Driving on, we're not going to let that hold us up. And then once I'm done with that, we're going to work on this. This is still out. That will get the gauge cleaned up and over to the painters Monday. So I've got to cut that for sure. And then I've left these out on purpose on the workbench because we're going to build those up. So that's the plan. So shocks, gauges on the dash, and this rat's nest. Now, so today what the goal is, it'll be all in, mocked up, but the wire looms will be open, so you'll get a really good opportunity to just see what it looks like open and what I had to do. On the list of stuff to get is I've got to get a piece of silicone for this to swap it over to a probably 3-inch round tube, but that way I can get the mass air meter on there. I'll show you this real quick. This is new. Let's see, where'd it go? There it is. This didn't come with my Gen 2 Coyote pack, but they give you this now. It's got the check engine light already on it, so that's kind of nice. I believe. We'll see how that works. Nice little bracket. Anyway. All right. Yeah. So, need to get some coffee in me, and yeah, we'll probably start back up in, I don't know, about 30-40 minutes. But yeah, we'll be cranking today, and then yeah, we'll see how far we get. I'm thinking this is going to go pretty quick, and I'll have the rest of the day to kind of chill out and come up with a plan for tomorrow. So see you in a bit. I'll keep track as we go, so this will be a little longer. See ya. Okay, quick update. About an hour and a half, hour into it. I've taken the harness all apart. I'm gonna run the these are the drive-by-wire connectors. And I'll run those underneath so you won't see those. So those will go through there. This will get covered. Probably gonna powder coat the fuel rail or color code it, still going through that design. I've got to extend the cam sensors so that they'll run neatly around and plug in, get them tight. And then what I was thinking about doing was get, not this plate, but you get the idea, just get an aluminum plate and use these two mounting holes and cover that up and get that all powder coated so it just kind of goes away. So you won't, the only wires you'll see are are these guys, and I'll get some nice looms on those, get those all cleaned up so it'll look all OEM and clean. And then you'll have new valve covers. And then, so now we've got the plug in the back of the motor, so when it plugs into the, actually probably something like this, into the ECU or this way, that'll all get cleaned. And then I've still got to unwrap all of that because that's just nasty. So we'll get that all done, and then that's the bones so far. So halfway through, and yeah, it's looking like something. Stay tuned. Okay, well, it's noon-ish, about maybe 12:15. Still working on the engine, but basically I'm at version 2.5 of what I was going to do. I really wasn't liking the way the wiring was looking from a perspective of, you know, the engine will be out in front of the truck, open, people walking by, and you'd see, you know, wire harness sitting on top of the motor. So went ahead and committed to lengthening 2 or 3 of the wiring harness ends, and let me show you what I ended up doing. Okay, so what I ended up doing was getting rid of that wire harness that ran across here, and basically unwrapped the entire thing. And I am now running all the wiring underneath in the space. This will all get loomed, you know, taped up, so it'll basically just look like it did up here, but it'll be a lot harder to see down in there. I did take this ground wire that was in the front of the motor and is now grounded to the head back here. So that one didn't need to get lengthened. It was too short to get out front, so I just split the difference and moved it around back. And then in front, I needed to lengthen the driver's side cam sensor wiring, and I did that lengthening down in here. And again, this will all get tidied up and secured to the block. So let me back this up just a little bit. So you'll be able to look down the center of the motor from the front. Again, the radiator will be just a little bit lower, the top of it. So, well, maybe just even. So I think this is what we're doing. So this side, you can see, is also clean. I did get some billet fuel rails, and then I just realized I've got this sensor right here. So I'm not sure if the billet ones will work. I'll have to figure out. Maybe I'll just have to move that sensor just somewhere else. I'll have to do some research on that. But I'm kind of enjoying the way this looks. And then the wire harness that I was missing right here, I'm hopeful that, you know, it'll plug in right here. There's the one plug, and then the other one is right here. So hopefully that's not too far away. Otherwise I'll be lengthening, you know, maybe 5 or 6 more wires. But that's definitely the ticket right there. That's where that needs to go. And then what that does also, now I've got plenty of wire harness right there. I mean, I figure the firewall is going to be somewhere in here. So I mean, I can basically, you know, I could even put it inside the engine compartment or inside the chassis if I wanted to, and you'll just have, you know, basically that and a few wires from the Ron Francis harness moving forward. So yeah, and then there's the mess. That wire harness that's sitting right there is from another chassis harness. So when I lengthen the wires, all all the color codes still match, so you can run the wire the whole way. In case something ever happens, somebody needs to go back in there. But yeah, so ultimately we're down to this and the accelerator pedal, and the engine's done. So yeah, I think what I'm going to end up doing is, for the engine install, I'm going to leave everything loose. I will pull the intake off, otherwise, for the install, just so it doesn't get damaged. Take the intake, the fuel rails, take all that off. I'm going to have to take it all off anyway, so like I don't like to do things 2 and 3 times, put it on, take it off, although I did it 4 times already, just to get this arrangement. But when I get the wire loom, I'll take that off for the final time, wire loom it all up, and then leave the intake off, wrap a bag around it, wait for the valve covers to show up. Actually, I'll put those on after it's in the car, and then that thing will basically be a state of ready to go in next weekend, I'm hoping. Yep, so midday, so that's done. That was the major lift for today. Now the dirty stuff, I've got to get that done. Now that it's super hot in the middle of the day, great to be around fiberglass dust. And then we'll end the day with this. I'm wanting to get this done today as well. This is really just chilling in a chair watching TV, getting it done. So really get the dust out, get the tools, create some dust. Oh yeah, and I still gotta do that. So I think I'm gonna do the alternator first. Get the engine assembly done all the way, and then we'll get back to this. So stay tuned. All right, folks, moving right along. Got the alternator done, and I got the dash done. So let me flip this around real quick. So the alternator is mounted in the front. We'll probably just take it off for the install, but at least it's on there. So that's basically the motor itself all done. I still have to come back in I think my loom is going to show up on Tuesday. So I don't know, Wednesday after work or something like that. Maybe Tuesday after work. I'll take the intake off for the last time. I still have to go into the number 4 coil wire and then splice that for the tack. Whether I end up doing it here or down somewhere, down in there, I'll work that out. Not a huge issue. Let me back this out. I hate how that defaults that way. So there's the gauge, and that's really all that's going to be in there, just nice and clean. All the switches and what do you call it? The window regulator, the windows up and down switch. That'll be all. I think I'm gonna end up sticking those under here, so you can't see them, but you can still grab them if you need to. And then all the ignition switch and all that stuff will be up underneath the dash, like all my cars are. There's the harness for the chassis side for the ECU, and let's see, I think that's about it for all of that. Oh yeah, over here I'm going to attack the shocks next, and I went ahead and dismounted the MAF sensor out of the air box, and it's mounted in the aluminum tube, so it's all ready to go in. Other than that, I got to clean this mess up, clean a little bit up there on the workbench, and I've got to find a better place than the floor for the ECU and the chassis harness part of it. Yeah, all in all, making pretty good progress today. I think I might run out of stuff again to do tomorrow. I'll have to walk around at the end of the night, see if there's anything left. Be good to take a day off, maybe just hang out, go for a bike ride or something. Got to recharge the batteries a little bit. Other than that, yeah, stay tuned. Gonna probably do one more closeout video, do a wrap up, and that looks like it'll be enough for this weekend. Talk to you soon. Okay, wrapped up for the day. Got everything on the list, and then a few other items. So, yeah, looking good. Tomorrow should be a super light day. Might just work a little bit on the front suspension. I got some clevises. I got the clevises in right there, and those go on these guys right here. So I'll get those kind of situated and go on this end too. Make sure I've got all the nuts I'm supposed to have for those. This is the engine, got it completely done. Well, done enough anyway to go in the car or truck. So again, to review, just reverse the harness. And all this will get loomed, right? And that should be here Tuesday. So those wires will get nice. And then down in here is all the busy work, and that will get all zip tied up and nice, so that'll be good to see the before and after. Looks like I will have to mess with this tube right here. It's I'm sure there's a piece I don't have or something. There was I think an adapter that went down on here that I didn't install, so I'll go back and look at the directions one more time. Again, alternators mocked up. There's wiring harness all tidied up for right now. Plenty of extra loom. 102 sensor plug is right here, and the other one's in the front, right there. I believe that's the old alternator plug, which I won't need anymore, so I'll figure out a way to make that disappear. The only other thing I did notice, I think I may have said it already, so I got new billet fuel rails coming. You get the fuel, I'm guessing this is fuel pressure sensor. I'm not sure if the ECU actually needs that. I'm not running that on mine. And then I've got the aftermarket ECU. So likely I'll just turn that guy off in the tune and just hide that underneath. So at least it'll look right and work right. And then I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what these are for. Those I'll just remove those. But yep, that's all done. All the suspension pieces and stuff that need to go to powder is already in the truck. So is the dash. And I did work on the shocks. So, because the new control arms for the rear have a different pickup point, you now have two different length shocks. You got a longer set for the rears now, still running 250 and 400. Heard pluses and minuses on the the ride quality on that, but this is a basic stock build, so. We're gonna go with these, and I went ahead and put all the spacers in, so again, not hunting around for any of that stuff. Again, you've got the smaller spacers in the front shocks and the larger ones in the rear shocks, so that's all done. All the lower bolts are in the other package, so again, just grab the piece and go in, and all set. So that's about it. That's a wrap for today. And then tomorrow, like I said, super light day. Probably won't even do a post. And then Monday back to back to the painters, see what's going on there. I got to drop off all the pieces, hopefully get those powder coated, and then pick everything up all at once. So we'll be slow progressing back up, starting probably Tuesday, and then ramping up full bore on Saturday and Sunday a week from now. So that ends basically a week, 2 weeks on the truck, and I think we're in good shape. I would like to have the chassis here, but I understand, I was a week getting the chassis to the painter. He's already got one side done, as I said, so hopefully next week I'll just keep plugging away at little stuff. I think having that engine done, having this done and sorted out, ready to go in, is going to be a big piece into the truck, as well as the rear end. So I got to get the front suspension kind of looking like this, and then the wheels and tires are now all mounted and they're on their way. So really, really fast it'll become a roller. I need to take a good look at the fuel lines, make sure I've got enough AN line to run from the back of the truck to the front of the truck. I think I do. If I don't, that's 2-day order from Summit probably, or from Very Cool Parts, depending which way we go. Brake lines are pretty much ready to go in, and I think that's it. That's a wrap this time. I'll stop talking. We'll see you probably Monday and Tuesday. Have a good Sunday off. Talk to you later.